down and give this one a nice gentle grab. See if we can do it quietly. There we go. Look at this. Well, I'll save you the goriness, but one of the workers or somebody out here was kind enough to take this nice brown water snake and sever its head off, which is really uncalled for when you consider that this is in the middle of a no traffic to the public zone. So kind of shameful. I'll go ahead and tie it off there and let the animals eat it, but what a shame. Well, hello everybody, Ant-Man here. Sort of a sad way to start off the evening with a poor little brown water snake that somebody had decapitated. You do unfortunately find this kind of thing from, time to time out there in the Everglades, but it was just that's how my evening started. But it ended up being a good evening indeed, with many snakes seen this night, including a whole lot of venomous snakes. So gonna jump around to a couple of different levees and try a couple different techniques, and as usual we're gonna find a python too. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the action. Look at this beautiful eastern diamondback out here. You don't see these on this levee that often. Not at night, at least. Gorgeous snake. It's a young snake. It still has the button on the tail, and it's got about 7 rattles, so it's shed its skin about 7 times. This is probably about a 3-year-old. It's about 3 feet long, but gorgeous animal. Nice coloration. Out on patrol, doing the same thing that the pythons are doing. Foraging, looking for a meal. As you can see, there's other people out here on this levee, which is not an uncommon occurrence. There's quite a few people that frequent this stretch. But after finding that dead brown water snake, it was really nice to see the eastern diamondback. It's not a snake that you see out here regularly, but they do pop up from time to time. But either way, the night was young, so Dad and I continued driving down here, shining for some more pythons, and well, it was pretty eventful as far as venomous snakes were concerned this night. So, just a few minutes ago, we had that eastern diamondback, and here's another venomous critter coiled up in ambush. So that's about the same thing, about a 3-year-old Florida cottonmouth. Not a particularly nice looking one, but This thing's sitting right by the top of the levee. It's I'll leave it. There's only a handful of hunters out here tonight, so I hope no one will bother it. Snake's pretty emaciated. It doesn't look that healthy, so it does need to eat a meal, and it's up here in ambush where the rats kind of run along. Same areas that the pythons kind of run along, but we're gonna go ahead and leave this snake alone. Definitely not as beautiful as that diamondback. There he goes. Still a nice snake. I kind of want him to get out of this particular area because I don't want the other people around here to disturb him or, you know, hurt him or anything. But yeah, he's a very skinny snake. Look at that. Okay. He's gonna just kind of coil up back in ambush, just like the diamondback on the back side of the bushes. We'll leave him to his business.
Certainly is. I'll let him in, I'll get a picture.
No, he's probably gonna just walk away.
Not so much of that. Pretty good size.
Yeah, he was a pretty good sized one.
So how big would a python have to be to eat that?
Oh, it would take a monster python to eat that thing, but
I can't hear you.
it's because I'm recording. Look at all that rooting up. Still standing there. There's two of them actually. All right. Look at this cute little guy. That is a hatchling dusky pygmy rattlesnake. And well, I can't want to put my hand next to it and get bit, but you get an idea. This thing is tiny. This snake is probably less than 5 inches long. Little tiny thing. This obviously this guy is so small I could put the GoPro to him. He's a tiny snake. Beautiful little thing, but just fresh. Just well, the vipers give live birth here, the ones that are in the United States. So this the mom undoubtedly just dropped this snake. This snake probably within the last couple days at most. And it's a little early. I generally don't see these popping up until August or the fall, and we're in July right now, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful little snake and not a venomous snake that I see. Believe it or not, these were super mega common in the Everglades when I was young, and now they're not. I see more eastern diamondbacks and of course cottonmouths than I do little dusky pygmy rattlesnakes. But either way, it's a beautiful little animal to see, and we'll go ahead and let it have its evening of foraging. It's probably looking for little tiny frogs or little tiny insects that they feed on when they're young. But pretty cool sighting. Don't see them too much anymore, but awesome to have a little encounter with them later on there, buddy. I'll put my foot next to him and you get an idea. Look at how tiny that thing is. I mean, it could curl up on a 50-cent piece. Tiny little snake, but really neat. Well, the pygmies must be giving birth, because here I am about 1.5 miles away from that first pygmy, and well, here's a second pygmy. This one's a little bit larger, so it just could be variation in the size of the genetics of the mom. But this snake is probably twice the body weight, even though it's only about 5 inches long. This is a very small snake, much like the last one. They have the same pattern. Sometimes you see an erythristic ones down here that are lacking all colored pigment. They're just shades of gray and black. But I haven't seen one like that in South Florida in quite a few years. Although they're still common up in the Panhandle and in the Ocala National Forest. But you used to see them in the Everglades from time to time. Some of them were actually really light background with black patterns in the Everglades, and they were spectacular. But it's been good many years since I've seen that. But anyway, we'll let this snake stay out for its evening foraging, and much like the last one, you get an idea when you see the size of my shoe next to it. It's a little bit bigger than the last snake, but still a very small snake. All right there, little guy, have yourself a good evening. Go catch yourself some prey. Keep going. Man, there's a bunch of pigs sleeping down there. Wow. Okay, stop. See that dark spot down in there? Underneath that tree? There's like 5 pigs.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Little piggies down there. Alrighty. See it move? Alright.
How far are we in?
They just stood up. It's looking at you.
I'll take your word for it.
Look at this. Probably from the same clutch as the last snake. another little pygmy. This one's actually got a pretty neat pattern. It almost looks like a western pygmy, which would be with less of the blotching and kind of just more of the open gray. It's funny. It kind of looks like Strecker eye. So even though it's obviously not, this is a dusky pygmy. But this one's only maybe 50 feet from the last one, so undoubtedly it's from the same mom. So we'll let the snake continue on its evening foraging, and we'll go out and see if we can't find ourselves some hatchling pythons, which would be pretty ideal about right now. But wouldn't hurt my feelings to find some hatchling pythons, or a couple of 15-foot pythons. That wouldn't hurt my feeling either. All right there, buddy. Okay. Well, after looking for pythons for a while on that particular levee, I did not find any, so my dad and I decided to switch gears and head to a different area. The venomous snakes were really active this night, having seen the diamondback, the pygmies, and quite a few cottonmouths actually, even though I only filmed one. We were like, well, snakes are moving. Let's go ahead and try a different zone and see if we can't get ourselves into a python. So we headed out to a new zone and started over. Got ourselves another little beautiful native snake here tonight. So this is a yearling. It's too big to be from this year because it's about 13-14 inches long. This is a yearling Miami face corn snake. I was crossing the road here. This particular area, these are a favored food of the coral snake. They love to eat some corn snakes, and it's not an uncommon thing for people to actually see coral snakes eating corn snakes here. So this little guy is hopefully going to make a decent life. We're going to go ahead and move him off this road so no other cars run him over. But you see, they're beautiful, beautiful snakes. Look at the coloration on that. Isn't that gorgeous? You have to just appreciate these incredibly beautiful natives. Yep. One day he'll be fighting for food with some of the pythons. But you can see how a hatchling python is already born with a huge advantage over our native snakes due to their size. You know, this snake when it was born was probably around 8 to 12 inches long, whereas a hatchling python is going to be somewhere in the range of 20 to 28 inches long, usually averaging around 24, 25, 26 inches in that range. So this little tiny guy right here at this size, he's eating lizards and things of that nature. He's not really ready yet for mice and stuff, but we're going to go ahead and take him over to this side of the road where we can get him safely off the road. And he can get out there and have his evening foraging. Alright, there we go. Got ourselves a little eastern coral snake. Skedaddle along. I'll go that way. Probably looking for himself to find himself some corn snakes about right. Let's pause for a second. Slow down. These things are so hard to get to sit still for any kind of video. They're just a twitchy little animal that's constantly on the move. But they're beautiful, beautiful little snakes. And as you see, they're not dangerous to be around as long as you don't touch them and restrain them. These little coral snakes, they'll just kind of go about their own business. Just kind of cruising along like this guy is. Going through some pretty good vegetation right now, but catch glimpses of them here in the open here and there. It's amazing. Doesn't take much for them to disappear. Awesome little snakes. This is a small coral snake. It's a subadult. The snake is probably about 18 inches long. And they can, in some cases, they can get up to 40 inches long, but that's certainly not the norm. Guy's heading down there. We're going to let him skedaddle off for his evening foraging. Found himself somewhere to go. I don't know where he went, but he disappeared. So here's a subadult pygmy rattlesnake. Get this guy to stop for a second. There we go. So this guy's sexually mature. He's probably about 13 inches long or so. If I get him to stop. There he goes. He's my shoe, so he backed off for a minute. This snake has a little bit of orange. It's not an erythristic one like the ones I was talking about. This still has the orange blotches in between the main blotches on the back. But it's a very beautiful little snake, and for whatever reason, these things are really out tonight. Don't know what's causing or sparking them to move. The weather's been the same. Everything seems to be pretty much how it's been, but either way, these guys are out and about. So this is the 4th one I've seen in just short order. But we're gonna go ahead and let this snake continue on its way. And we're gonna go look for some pythons. Get going there, buddy. There you go. Head that way. There you go. Keep going. Going. Keep going. Going. Keep going. Usually when they hit the grass, they'll go a little bit quicker because they feel a little bit of security. Come on. There we go. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Alright. I just straddled this guy. Another beautiful little, bitey little Miami face corn snake. Aren't these things gorgeous? The yearlings are out right now. The snakes are quite active, so that's a good sign. So it's kind of funny at this size. They're almost cute. But you see the beautiful checker pattern belly. So hence the name corn snake, because it looks like Indian corn. Or so that's what some people say. But we're going to go ahead and move this little critter in the direction it was heading. Get it off this road before anyone comes along and let it go look for some anoles. Alright. Come on. Got a nice snake right here. Look at this. Got ourselves a Florida king snake. Come here, little guy. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. That's a beautiful snake right there. So we're down in the range of what they would call the Brooks eye, which would be the king snakes found in extreme southern Dade County, and we're pretty far down in Dade County right now, so I wouldn't call this a Brooks eye by my standards, but it is a very pretty snake, and it's a male. So usually the males are lighter. This snake is not all that light in coloration. It's got a little bit of light coloration going on, but king snakes are always one of my favorite snakes. I'd say pine snakes, hognose snakes, and king snakes would be my favorite snakes. And anytime you can find a king snake down here in South Florida, it's always a very welcome find, because it's not something that we see too often anymore. But this guy was skedaddling across the road. For a minute there I thought it was a hatchling python. They got the same coloration. So, but obviously it was moving too quick, so I knew it was a colubrid. Let's go ahead and get this snake up here so we can send it off safely on its way. All right there, little buddy. Ready? Have a nice night. Coral snake food. Hey there, little guy. It's all the same size class, these yearling corn snakes moving around. None of them have been exceptionally pretty, but I wonder if he detects his buddies. He probably smells king snake on my hands, and he says, I don't like that. That means I'm going to get eaten. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and send this guy off in the grass. Skedaddle along. So sometimes out here in the Everglades, you get these big giant flood structures that have bright lights on them. And of course, those lights draw in bugs, which in turn draw in these guys. See that guy hopping along there? So these are big old exotic cane toads or marine toads. And well, there's all kind of stuff. So pretty good sized toads. Thanks, too fast for me. We'll get the one that's in the corner. This is a small one. They actually get much larger, but this is an exotic species. It's one of the most widespread amphibians in the world. They're found all over the place, but they're hanging out around these bright lights at night, eating all the bugs, but we'll let him go about his business. All right. Look down here underneath this tree while I'm python hunting. You see that snake down in there? Look at that. It's a green water snake. Look at her. She's gravid, full of babies. She was probably sunning right before the sun went down. Now she's still just chilling in the same area. But we'll leave her be, let her do her thing tonight. She's nice and hefty. We'll leave her undisturbed. Continue on the python hunt. Alright. Got ourselves a little python right here. Reach down and give this one a nice gentle grab. See if we can do it quietly. There we go. Alright there, little guy. I know you're not happy to see me, but I'm pretty happy to see you because, well, it's been a little bit slow tonight. So, one right here is better than none. Snake's probably about 7 feet long. So, let's go ahead and give a little gentle pin. Oh, I hear you. Alright, nice gentle pin down of the head. This is what happens when you try to do it with one hand. Alright. Okay, now I can see what's going on again. Alright, so this is a pretty typical size snake for the summer at night. Let's see what we got here. It's a male. Young male. I always point out those spurs. You know, they vary in size, but they're quite evident on this snake right here, where right there where I'm touching with my thumb. I don't know if that comes out, but either way, I'm inhaling bugs, but he's about a 7-foot snake, so yeah, inhaling mosquitoes, better than nothing. All right. Well, what an awesome night of snake hunting in the Florida Everglades. And the venomous snakes were active tonight, and of course the highlight of it all was right off the bat I found this beautiful eastern diamondback rattlesnake on a levee that I don't see them all too frequently. But the biggest surprise was the pygmy rattlesnakes. They were out in force this night. I ended up seeing 4 of them, and they're beautiful, beautiful little tiny little things. Most people don't even believe they're rattlesnakes because you can't really hear the rattle unless you put your ear right down next to one. But boy, they were out in full force. As were the cottonmouths, which they're always out there. I ended up only just filming this one because they're such a common sight. There have been nights in the Everglades when I see over 50 cottonmouths in a night. But this was a special night indeed, because not only did I see the 3 vipers that we have in South Florida, but I also bumped into our only elapid, which is the eastern coral snake. Same family as the mambas and the crates and so forth. They have a highly toxic venom, but they're not a dangerous snake to actually see as long as you don't actually pick one up. But along with all those venomous snakes, our native snakes were really moving strong this night. Saw quite a few corn snakes and some different species of water snake. A lot of times I just don't bother you with the real common stuff. But the highlight from the colubrids that night was this Florida king snake. This is kind of like a Brooks king snake. It has a little bit of that coloration, but not really as good as the ones I used to see in years past. And of course, if you stick it out long enough, almost any night in the Everglades, you will catch a python, if not more than one python. So ended up with this 7-foot male, which is a good consolation prize after a night of work, really beating the bushes and covering a lot of ground, a lot of different areas. I definitely am always happy when I'm rewarded with a python in the night. So I hope you enjoyed it, and as I always say, hope to see you all out there in the field. Take care and stay safe. Later.